Last year, July, we did a show at the National Arts Festival on the French in Grahamstown, and the director délégué of the French Institute, Marion Claudel, saw the show and she really liked it. And so afterwards we had a conversation over a glass of wine based on the fact that I studied puppetry in Charleville-Mézières for 3 years, which happens also to be the birthtown of Rimbaud. We kind of had this idea of making a piece using Rimbaud's poetry. With his poetry, we kind of tried to create a journey of an individual encountering different difficulties in life. And this journey, which is the journey of the puppet in the show, is also quite similar to the journey of Rimbaud. And it was up to me to select a team. From the beginning, it was clear to me that I would work with Arno van Vliet. Arno started by making a selection of poems that he really wanted to set to music.
It's a small green valley where a slow stream runs that leaves long strands of silver on the bright grass from the mountain top. The sun's rays stream, they fill the hollow full of light. They fill the hollow full of light.
The first poem I set to music was a poem called Le Mal in French, which means evil, which is basically a critique on war and also on religion.
In his side, there are 2 red holes.
I contacted Johan because I was very interested in using Chinese hand puppets for the show.
We are using this character, Arthur Rimbaud's life, which is he lived this place, lost in a little city in the north of France, and he's been to Paris by foot, and there was a commune, there was some kind of civil war, and he was part of it, and so we wanted to bring all this and to tell the story of this guy, but in the same time to be in the story of every of us. You know, one day you leave your house and you have to go on your way, and some moments are hard, some moments are really nice, and you need to find the peace.
Johan and I started to work on ideas around scenography and through line for the show. Then I found this retro projector and started to do a little bit of experiments on that in the beginning of this year. It became quite clear quite quickly that that was going to be the tool that we'd use for the show. I was also making drawings and experimenting with different textures for the overhead projector in my studio also months in advance. We tried to keep the setup of the show to a minimum because we knew the show was going to tour, but in reality it's quite a process. We have to assemble the set the lights, Arno plays through his songs, I have to put all my images in order, so it is quite a process, but it's also part of preparing for the performance. You know, so for example, while I'm putting my images in order, I'm thinking about the show, what I need to be focusing on. Johan puts all his puppets backstage, and then, you know, he's also preparing himself mentally. The show is quite unusual in that it combines different mediums, music, puppetry, artistic projections. Quite an unusual combination for a theatre show in South Africa. I'm really looking forward to see how people will react to the show.
When I was a kid, I remember when some artists were coming and I was like, wow, it's a dream. And today I'm an artist, so I wish that maybe one of them, through this show and other shows, will go in this direction and follow his dream and do his art.
My parents brought me out for a surprise.
The show was really amazing. It allowed the audience to go into their imagination.
We all have an imagination, and sometimes we want to be like children. And I guess this show taps into our childlike playfulness within our minds.
I discovered the place, the show, the poetry in English because I knew it in French, the music, and I found it a very magical blend. And we really dive into this universe. Very impressive.
In this show, there's like a kind of primitive use of technology, but still it takes you on such a beautiful journey.
People
loved the simplicity of the simplicity of the set, the imagery, the puppets. Like some people connected really with the music. So we've had great feedback thus far, and yeah, it made Rimbaud come alive to a lot of people who never really engaged with his work before.
It was very surprising, extremely poetic, and extremely touching too. And I really had a great time, and I'm still processing all the images and the sounds and everything. And it was really nice, gorgeous.
Waking warm, vital breath, while stones waxed and wind rolls sounds.
I have kissed the summer dawn.